So this is by far the most entertaining place that I've ever stayed, because if you look back here, that's a roller coaster. If you hear screaming in the background, that is why. Every 3-4 minutes. It's great. It got me to thinking about this one time. I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm not a roller coaster person. I'm not a water slide person. Just no. There's this friend of mine that recommended to go see the Royal Gorge in Colorado a couple years ago. And so I was like, oh, the Royal Gorge. She's like, yeah, it's a great bridge. It's beautiful. Oh man, you can see the canyon. It's just awesome. You better go. You're going to be right there anyway. I drove to the Royal Gorge and parked in the parking lot. I peeked over and saw kind of what the bridge looked like, and I thought, wow, it is pretty high. I go inside and pay my $25. I told the people, I was like, so I'm not a heights person. Am I gonna be okay? And they just like looked and smiled, and they're like, you'll be fine. So I went through the door and I got up to the bridge, and I was terrified. It's over 1,000 feet. I was just scared. I was like, great, you paid $25 to be scared out of your mind. This is not fair. What I have learned, put into practice, is kind of a funny way to say that I put into practice what I had learned from the Word of God. I said, God did not give you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And I know to speak the word out loud out your mouth, because death and life are in the power of the tongue. And if you want something to change in your life, your words are huge. So I was like, I want to get across this bridge. I don't want to waste my $25 ticket. I couldn't look to the sides and I couldn't look down. So I just looked straight across, and I started saying under my breath while everybody else is walking by and they're like looking over the edge and blah, blah, blah. I was like, God did not give me a spirit of fear. God did not give me a spirit of fear. God did not give me a spirit of fear. And I slowly made my way across. I finally got to the other end and I was like, oh yes, still scared. Now you gotta go back, great. So I turn around and I go back and I'm like, God did not give me a spirit of fear. God did not give me a spirit of fear. And I got about a quarter of the way, and then that thing left. It lifted off of me, and I could walk to the edge and look down where before I couldn't. And I realized how powerful the Word of God is when you take one verse, when you take words that God said, put them on your mouth and put them into practice, then you can get free. I know that's kind of a funny example, but it's true how often we can be afraid, and not just on like roller coasters and heights. Relationships, finances, things that we're not in control over, things that we don't feel safe in, fear of rejection, fear of getting hurt, fear of, the same thing happening over again, past disappointments, failures. All this stuff can hold you back. But you know what? If we just stay in our safe little bubble all the time, we're never going to get anywhere. And God asks us to step out in faith, trusting that He's got you. You find your verse in the Bible. You say, okay, God didn't give me the spirit of fear, so obviously it's from the enemy who's trying to not get me to move ahead and do life well and have victory. You go against that thing. You say, no, the Word of God says this, so that's what I'm going to walk in. And there's been several times on this trip, again, not massive fear situations, but I went on a kid's roller coaster. If a 5-year-old can do it, Nancy, you can do it. Yeah, conquered that one and went on a helicopter ride, and it seems rather pathetic. But we don't want to get to the end of life and think, wow, we did so good. We stayed in our safe little bubble and never stepped out in faith and just had everything just all comfy cozy. That's not a life that is the faith that God desires, I guess. I don't know how else to put that. He wants you to do some things. He won't do it all for you. So it does require some steps of faith. And if there is a spirit of fear, you know what to do. You take the words that He said and say, God, these are your promises. They're going to come out my mouth. I'm going to conquer what this is before me with your help. And I know that you, through me, we can do all things. So think of the thing that terrifies you and and just do it. How do I end this? I'm gonna go try that roller coaster.